Okay, we'll open up the floor to anybody on the floor that wants to make a comment of anything that we're doing, okay? And then we'll open it up to the people in Zoom. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, I just wanted, we had the Fresh Pond, Friends of Fresh Pond meeting yesterday at Jim Eklund's house, and the work that they've done so far there has made a heck of a difference in the clarity and everything else, and they're moving in the right direction. And I just hope that the town realizes what an asset that place is to the town. It's such a unique feature. It's actually a lake, you know, and I think we might even rename it. The Indians had a name for the lake, just to give it a little bit more, you know.
Stature.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And, you know, it holds millions of gallons, it's our aquifer, and I think they're gonna get it back to the point where it used to be. And I just wanted to just emphasize any chance of buying anything in and around it that would help preserve it should be a priority, because it's very important.
And I agree with you. I think that we should, and it is it's an important asset of the
Yeah, I
town.
don't think there's another lake like that really anywhere on Long Island, except maybe the one in Port Jeff, but you know, just such a unique feature. And in fact, it's only 500 feet from Banana Creek, you know, as a crow flies, yet no salt water intrudes into it, and it's 45 feet deep. And it actually pushes, it has enough pressure of the depth to keep the salt water out. So it's really like a giant, you know, reservoir. That's all I had to say, and I get it back to work. But anything you can do to buy anything in and around it, you know, would be a great thing.
We
Appreciate it.
agree.
Thank you.
Who's that?
Larson? Okay, can I open the floor to anyone that's in here on Zoom? Elsa, I see that you're here.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good, how are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm back in Virginia, but thank you, Gordon, for taking me through the property. It was great, and I really appreciate it. We had our meeting. I Zoomed into our meeting on Saturday, and so I'm hoping to share a lot more information with them about access to Artist Lane.
Good, I hope that was you got a good flavor of the preserve, okay, and you know what our intentions are and the parking and so forth. So,
Yeah, I just want to get more information out to everybody else because no one is really familiar with what's going on. So I hope I'm a good conduit for that,
okay. Real
as
good.
well as Howie. I see Howie's there.
Okay, yeah, you know, the other thing that we will talk about in the near future, okay, is this volunteer stewardship program, okay, and I know Howard knows about it, and we've talked about it, so I think we've had that program for a while, and this would be a real good one for us to get involved with, okay, so, but thank you very much for your coming today.
Thanks.
If there are no other questions, I'd like to begin the meeting, okay? I'm going to have to tell everybody that I've had a little mishap here over that storm on Friday. So I didn't realize it was from the storm, but I have no computer. My computer, I have a small network at home that my printers and everything else are tied to. And so I was unable to pull some stuff that I usually have for the meeting in a PowerPoint. I don't have that, okay? Ironically, I don't know whether this is just by coincidence or what, I have two AC units now that are down.
Oh,
Okay?
no.
So it's like, it's just like this tooth, it was very odd, okay, but that's the story this morning. So I don't have a lot of slideshows and so forth, so it'll probably be mostly speaking, but I'll do the best I can. Okay? With that said, okay, I would like to address the minutes from last month. Okay, everyone has had a chance to take a look at them.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Yeah.
That's done.
Okay,
Aye.
everybody in favor?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's get into the let's do the next part, which would be the financials, okay? I had them, okay, but let me just see. I can't put this up on the screen, unfortunately, but, all right, so you can hardly see this, but anyhow, in the far.
I can see it.
In the far right-hand column is really what we should be concerned about. You can see that we did the transfer of the money into the high yield account. Okay, so that really is just the working account with expenses out of it. Okay. So we had expenses of $4,818. Payroll is out of that, so it left the closing balance of $502,370.25. The New York Class account, our high yield account, has an opening balance of $10,191,458.11. The interest on that account for the last month, okay, was $45,194.48. If you look at the last line, what's going on when the transfer funds come in, they're going into the high yield account, which was $109,313.68. I had this prepared, but I couldn't bring it because I know you asked, you wanted to know what basically out of that 10 million, what was really encumbered or somewhat committed in terms of acquisitions, okay? There's over $8 million that's really there, that really, so it's, that we're working with right now that's sort of committed to acquisitions currently in progress. So although it sounds like a lot of money, there's a big sum of money that has been allocated out there. And, so basically, I'm sorry I can't give that to you today, okay, but I will make sure you'll have it next month. And the other one is the transfer. There's a second page here, which has to deal with how the checks are broken up. I couldn't change this, okay, I know you wanted it in a different format, which I did last month, but I couldn't do it this month, okay? But basically, it's showing that the check that came in for the transfer funds were $132,120.77. CPF, okay. Yeah, CPF, right, CPF, with our portion of that check is $105,696. If you, yeah, that was our portion of that. The WQI, it shows that amount. So it's just a distribution of how the checks come in for the 2.5% for preservation, okay? But that's basically that, okay? Any questions with this at all, folks? Can I get a motion to accept this financial report?
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor? Okay. That's the financial report. Okay. Tim, I'm going to talk about West Neck one more time. Okay. I have in there, I put in there this exercise workstations. I wanted to do a slide presentation of a park that I was in that showed the kind of things that we're talking about that would be in the preserve that we haven't approved yet, okay, but something that where you walk around and there's a little exercise, low impact stations. Okay, so I don't have that at this time, but maybe, Timmy, I know you met again with the consultant Nelson Pope. So maybe you want to bring us up to date from last month?
Two things, I just want to ask for the exercise.
Yeah.
That's something that could be there,
Could be that, yes.
could be there. And as for the only thing we're looking at is plowing again. The vendor, Lindsay, the Lindsay brothers can't do it until possibly the third week of August. It will not involve the deep plowing from last year, all the equipment that they needed, because there's a lot of debris in the soil at the time. They won't need that, so it'll actually be less expensive.
Okay.
And then, so they're gonna plow it once, then they're gonna till it twice. And then the idea is that a meadow could be planted in early October.
You'll need volunteers for that? You'll need volunteers for that?
No, no, actually, the Rusty from Nelson Pope Voorhees will come in. I think it would be done by a machine, but I'm not sure. I mean, last year when I planted the wheat, I did it myself.
You're nuts.
Saving us a lot of money.
Yes, we owe you
You're
dinner.
like a little machine, Tim.
Like I was in a 19th century French painting. Anyway, so that's really
Did we get any budgets on that at all yet?
for which.
For the tilling?
Yes, I did get one. I neglected to share it. I'll send it out today.
Do you have a rough idea what that would be?
3,000.
And that includes the tilling is done in 2 different times, right?
Yes, so it's 3 separate.
Separate.
operations.
Okay.
Yes, and it is less because I specifically asked Matt Lindsay, this is less than the last time? And he said, yes, because we don't have to bring in this heavy equipment to get all the heavy roots and all the other stuff that were in there before. So it's a lighter operation this time.
And then after that should be it? Is that, we wouldn't be doing that again next year?
No, once the meadow is planted,
It's done.
don't touch it.
And then,
But there is one thing I'd like to do, I just have to think about this. The mugwort is a lot less where the wheat is growing. But it is there. And it's growing high, and the wheat is also high. So in the interest of when we go in there with the plow, I don't want to damage any animals in there. So my thought was to top everything first and then mow it before they plow. But I have to think about this because if they top everything, you get all this vegetation just lying on top, which will make it hard to see what's in there, what's actually living in there. Rusty and I doubt that there are any turtles in there because again, it's just not a hospitable environment. But we also have quail now, seem to be popping up all over the island, which is great.
Be right at my house, babies.
I haven't seen them.
Everybody's repeating them now, which is great. So I just want to make sure that we're not going to damage any wildlife. So I just have to think about the best way to do that.
And then when we're done with this, what was we're gonna let that field grow, and the cutting will be done 2 times a year, is that correct?
Probably once a year,
Once a year?
yeah. Like in March.
That oak grass is always going to be there then, or no?
No, that's gonna go. That's just a cover crop.
Right?
It's like when you go past a farm field and they plant a wheat crop, it's a cover crop just to keep it something in it.
Okay.
Plus it has other functions for farmers.
When you plow it, it just goes away?
So the cover crop that's there is going to get plowed under.
Under.
That's gonna get plowed under.
Gotcha.
Then you wait a couple more weeks, then you plant a real meadow. That's a permanent thing. But I did, when Rusty was here for I forget how many weeks ago, we walked the entire preserve, and because I'm concerned about the other parts of it, and I need advice about how to handle the rest of it, not just the meadow. So we talked a lot about, this fall, we are gonna cut the rest of the meadow. And then the spring, when things start to emerge, we'll have an idea of whether multiflora rose is popping up, that has to come out, so other parts of the preserve have to be spot weeded. We're not gonna do a massive plowing or anything, we're just gonna go in, start pulling out the bad stuff. Then there's a big section of raspberry, and we're actually gonna leave that pretty much intact. It's a place where people can go and pick raspberries, or the birds can pick the raspberries. There's another section which has a lot of princess trees, which is an Asian tree which has really big leaves. It looks like a catalpa, but it's actually not a catalpa. It has beautiful purple flowers. Anyways, it's very, very invasive, so those are gonna have to come down. And I still have a whole bin of white oak trees, which I'd like to plant in there. But if we're gonna start cutting back stuff sooner this fall, that will allow us room and areas where we can go in there with volunteers and plant these oak seedlings.
Now, what happened at the white, what we're gonna be referring to as Artist Lane Preserve, okay? Where the parking area is, we had too much stone there, okay?
Yes.
Stone was just exceptionally deep, people would get stuck. So we moved the stones, there was so much that we were able to take stone and bring it up to North Venantic in their parking area, and also on West Neck Preserve. Okay?
Great.
Actually, I like the way it looks. I don't know whether anybody's seen it or not.
Well, I gotta tell you something about North Atlantic. So yesterday we had the tennis tournament there.
Yes.
And the cars will be pushed out of there, we're all stuck. The box.
Oh, still.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's too thick down there, too heavy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can use some for my driveway.
There you go. That's interesting, because all right, to be continued, okay?
Let me just say one last thing about the parking lot at West Neck, and that is after they finish plowing, and doing all the stuff they're doing, I still want to go in and finesse the parking area there, so it looks better,
Go at it.
which we've talked about, but I just want to mention it again.
Okay.
And when you say finesse, you
I
mean,
know, I wonder what that means.
Well, there's no fencing,
right,
so it just needs to have some fencing and
delineated.
delineated. It just looks kind of it's not even informal looking, it just looks like, doesn't look
I'm
like.
thinking of like railroad ties or something.
Well, actually, I was thinking there's a preserve over on the North Fork.
Right.
Before you go across the bridge to Port of Egypt. That is really nice, really elegant, simple.
It basically is heavy, it's a 6x6 treated lumber, okay, and it's really low, okay, and it just delineates it, it's
I probably
really nice, it's long lasting, it really does.
It's really elegant and simple.
As you go
That's
past
us.
North Fork, or before North Fork Welding, it's on the right-hand side, okay? And I think that would be the kind of thing I think we should universally use.
I agree.
I don't, yes, okay.
Howard had a question.
Go ahead.
Just before we get to the next, thinking about these exercise workstations, I've used them up Island in different parks. And they require a lot of maintenance, clearing and stuff like that. And also to install them takes a lot. So I would just consider the cost of putting them in. And vandalism, as you know, is quite bad on Shelter Island, unfortunately. Did the statues in Sylvester Manor.
Listen, the one that had exactly that same problem, okay? I think the first thing we have to do is the plan that we did with Nelson Pope includes the accessibility path, ADA. I think that's the first thing we have to get that straightened out, okay, before that comes. So we're a long way from it, but it was just interesting to see somebody who had it, and it's just something that, I hear you.
Howard, it may not be the appropriate preserve for this.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I would think like school, you would excellent, parking and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and attract people to the preserves. So that's just,
But they have a different type, they have a different thing that they use for ADA compliant. It's not actually an exercise, it's a little low maintenance, it's nothing more than a pole and some things, but we should take a look. We're way ahead right now with this.
Yes.
thank you.
The next item, okay, is Dickinson Overlook Preserve. Howard and I have talked about this, and what happened is that somebody came to me and talked about how we don't have a vegetative buffer there. Okay, so if we're gonna set the tone, I think we should have something there. Okay, and Howard, you and I talked about where do you do it, where do you put it?
Right,
Obviously, the vegetative buffer, okay, you know, WAC, I'm sorry, CAC calls for, in the wetlands, a vegetative buffer, so here we are, we're supposed to be environmentally friendly, and we have an area that we don't have one, okay? And I think it would be a good thing to do. I don't know exactly where the location is, and Tim, I thought we were gonna have somebody look at that.
I've reached out to somebody.
Yep.
Who expressed, I haven't heard back yet, but actually, Howard, it's more than just putting a buffer there. That park originally had a whole interior of vegetation that was cleared out.
right.
It was all junk. But I would like to revegetate it again with native shrubs, et cetera. That whole interior area, there could be a path going through there that leads someplace or not. And then a buffer would be part of that whole sort of idea.
Yes, that's excellent, especially with the tides are getting higher all the time. Every year, you can see it around the island, wetlands. The buffer is very important. The water's gonna come over that bulkhead at some time, and maybe during a storm it will come. So have a buffer to stop wash back into.
But the buffer can be further upland.
Yes,
It doesn't necessarily have to be down where the bulkheads are, right? I mean,
well, it should be to stop with.
Right, for the runoff.
Purpose is the runoff, and I think, and contaminants that those are going into our water and our wetland area, because those are endangered right now, wetlands, and it's very important, so I'd be glad to go with anybody.
maybe you could help us with this,
Sure.
okay?
I'm gonna go up there, take a look.
Yeah.
Again, I have reached out to somebody, and hopefully, but if they're not interested, then I just find somebody else.
The more input, the better.
But I'd like to see, now it's just a big lawn,
Yes,
so I'd like to see if it's not restoring something because it's all junk, but it would benefit wildlife to have some vegetation in that whole treed area. And some of those trees in there are junk, so it'd have to be sort of a plan to gradually take out, like there's Atlantis trees in there, get those out.
good idea, very good idea.
Do we have runoff, significant runoff there now? You think it's going around the bulkhead over
I
on the,
don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of high, you know?
I somehow doubt it in a
I
way.
think there's, I think,
Okay.
now, but it's not gonna get any better.
Right.
It's gonna get worse.
well, we've had a lot of rain, so I was just curious whether, you know what I'm saying?
But I think as we've discussed, it could also serve as an example of what people can do.
And is it lineal, meaning is it like almost like does it have to be continuous, like a line? You know what I'm saying to you?
It should
Should be
be
like a-
so it takes all the runoff.
A continue,
You can have a
okay,
path down to the bulkhead. for
Right.
like a 5 foot, 6 foot. path. Trying to keep the runoff from hitting our bays, it's getting worse and worse. Pollution, waterways.
what are you doing now? What are you calling for? What is it, what do you call, what kind of planting?
Depends on where the property is, but by planting short brush wood
Right.
and stuff like that, so it's low, not high plantings, just catching the runoff, basically. Before it goes in, and also, people throw garbage down there, it'll stop the garbage from going in there, and every once in a while, I'll pick up with
And something that's low maintenance.
low maintenance, very low maintenance. You don't even have to maintain most of the stuff, the bushes just
And the plantings are normally done this time of the year, meaning in the fall,
spring usually.
spring. Okay, so this would be a project for the spring, for the most,
On the sixth, and that might give us some time to look at what we can do there too.
great.
Are buffer zones a requirement now?
For wetland, they are required.
It is a requirement.
So in all our properties, even on the artist's property, I walk around the perimeter and take a look at that we have sufficient buffer. In those areas. And I've walked it with you, and it appears to be fine. I'd like to do once more with that in mind. Chance.
So is it maintaining a buffer zone that's already in place? Or,
If it's a natural buffer, yes, try to keep that what it is. A lot of them grows wild, you don't want to break up your view.
So like in the white property, okay, there, we didn't remove anything, so that, whatever that vegetation is, we just leave it and just make sure the invasives don't have an impact along the shoreline.
Yeah.
But as we walked it, you saw, we made, the landscaper came in, I think it's a really pretty identified path right now, okay? But for there, you wouldn't do, it was not necessary, but on Dickerson Overlook, okay, that's a piece where we cleaned it, okay? And it was a mistake on our part not to have done that, okay? But I was glad somebody politely brought it to my attention, okay? So I think that's good, okay?
it wasn't a mistake, it was just that there was a lot of invasive stuff there.
No, I know, but we hadn't looked at it, so it's like, I'm glad we're addressing it, that's what I'm saying.
No, I mean, we always plan to go back in there and revegetate. This would be part of that plan.
But we'll get into that. One of the things I don't have here is our, oh, I do have it here, okay. The signage, okay, the signage on White is gonna be pending the Artist Lane Preserve stewardship plan. So Kathy, there's been a lot of back and forth over hunting. And we've made some changes. This is basically like our final draft, okay? I would like to be able to present this. I don't want to present it now because you're seeing it for the first time. There's been a lot of conversations back and forth, but I'm hoping that in our September meeting, okay, we can, and how have you seen final? No.
The final, I'll get a
Okay.
copy.
All right.
I can email it to everybody.
Yeah, I think Howard needs it, okay,
I
because
can, I don't know, yeah, you're on the town email.
TAC,
Yeah,
I'll send it to everybody since you can't.
I think everybody has a copy right now.
Well, they don't, if they want to make changes.
No, yeah, well, we can give them a digital copy, okay. Yeah, so, is there anything significant in here that we added some things?
Well, we had that Zoom call with Tim, myself, and you. I asked her, based on that conversation, to send me an email with the language she would like in. On the copy people have, it wasn't in color, so you can't see. But really what was added, a lot of this was frankly belts and suspenders, just to emphasize to dramatize, I emphasize that there was no hunting on
Hunting program.
private property. You could only cull fallen trees on the preserved property. Number 6 is kind of new. Bo Payne had given her, she wanted all sorts of restrictions that to hunt, they would have to refer to the homeowners association. And of course, it got awkward. And she really wanted no hunting whatsoever. So I just had to explain that the town would not accept that, and that's not the deal. So we've added number 6, the rules and regulations of the town's deer management program are attached here to and incorporated by reference. So this attachment is what Bo had sent her. So rather than repeat that, we just
The
include.
big significant thing here is there is no use of firearms.
You can hunt, but you can't use firearms.
Yeah. So if we can look at this, maybe we can get this concluded so I can get the rest of this thing completed, okay? The only other thing here that there's a spreadsheet here which I'd like to just take a look at this one more last time. Jessica put this together, okay, we alphabetized it, preserved, so could we just take one last look at this before the budget season begins?
Talking about assignments?
Yes.
I thought I had West Neck
Hold on a second, let's see.
with Tim.
I think you did, okay? So who was coming out of Westnick? Well, Tim will be there too. Is that a problem with you?
Well, he could change, he could do Westmoreland and just exchange. You see,
So,
otherwise he could bring Tui down to Westmoreland and put me up at West.
And what's the difference between Sylvester Manor and Sylvester Manor Educational FND?
okay, one is, Sylvester Manor, there's one that's on 114,
Right?
which
Yeah,
was at 16 acres.
right.
And then Sylvester, the educational farm was the big piece.
original.
The original
Right,
piece.
so they're separate. Why wouldn't they just be together? Sylvester Manor, but they can be separate.
Okay.
West Neck is changing.
Yeah, it'll be you and I.
What we,
Order make different.
the only one we don't have here is, which we still need a stewardship plan, is on the causeway.
But Tim was doing that. Wasn't Tim doing that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't have it down here for some reason. or
I
other.
need to get in there.
I would have no idea what to say.
I'm sorry.
I would have no idea what to say.
I need to get in there. I just haven't had time.
Okay. I mean, I would volunteer to do it, but I just,
I
I'd
see.
stand there and go, yeah, watch. Sand.
I'm gonna do it. I just need to do it.
You don't have an artist lane.
All right. Yeah. Good.
Good catch. I'm gonna give that to Gordon.
I don't know who we had to begin with. I don't have anything in front of me right now. All right, we'll break this out. And I guess the budget season we'll get some documents, I guess, from her over the breakdown, and then this way, actually, it's a good time to even do the reports. Since we got to go through looking at each and every property, this would be a good time to do a report of what's going on the property. You know, like an annual report. You know what I'm talking about, right?
We did it a while ago. We also
Yeah.
took photographs too,
Yes,
I
yes,
remember, but I
yes.
haven't done that in a while.
I know, we haven't, but I'm just saying this would be, I think when we do the budgets, it's a good time. You're gonna be there anyhow. So why not do a report?
Okay.
How different it is from what the
When we last-
stewardship plan is.
Yeah. Oh,
when is
okay.
the
Steward-
Got it.
Well, October is when we go before, the town board reviews.
So we should do it in
September is when
September?
we're all-
The chiggers are.
Oh, I'm sure they are,
I don't want to go and see Jim's woods.
I haven't been gone in the woods.
You put long pants on, your socks
Really gotta-
over your pants, you spray your clothes.
It's hard to get to that one.
Yeah.
That
A little
really,
bit.
that is a real problem.
Little
I
bit.
gotta tell you, walking through the wooded properties is just full of chiggers and stuff
It's
right
awful.
now.
Where's this?
These wooded properties.
Yeah.
This-
Yeah,
You gotta spray it.
Shoot up.
Yes. The nymphs.
Foliage,
Yeah.
not as bad, because they're up more on the ground than.
Walking just on the path and
Well, maybe you can do it, well, I'm gonna be away the first week in September.
And just as a side note, okay, this tree issue, boy, is gonna be bad. I just can't believe Mildred Flower Hurd. okay?
well, it's not even that, it's that everywhere I go now, I notice them everywhere.
I'm looking at the danger,
that's
I'm
what
looking at the danger of some of these trees on the side of the road,
I know I raised this point.
okay? Where Mildred Flower Hurd is, there's two monster trees there, and they're dead
Yeah.
at the top.
I
I don't know what we're gonna, I mean, that's a town issue, I mean, a town,
You bring it up with Ken Lewis.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an issue everywhere.
There was a lightning strike or something, that could be devastating. Forest fire or something.
Yeah, there's so much dead wood.
Yeah.
Forests right now.
We're in,
Everywhere, if you drive down Montauk, heading out Napping Stretch, ton of dead trees, but the beaches haven't really died off yet, but
you know, the pitch
Yeah.
lines, so
a few years it could be different.
it really has.
Yeah, right, right.
Fortunately, we don't
Yeah.
have those.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
I don't, anyhow, I'm looking at the side of the roads as well, I mean, particularly with Valley Mildred Flower Hurd, you got a couple of monster trees that are on the edge there that are just, no foliage,
the
nothing.
one to the entrance of the cemetery is pretty much dead.
Yes,
Which shocked me because I first noticed that just 2 years ago. And it's a beautiful tree. And it's, aside from everything else, it's such a monumental tragedy.
Howard, what concerns me is in the middle of, a lot of times the canopy, okay, is basically stops the growth. Now that this is open, I'm really concerned about, like, Mildred Flower Hurd has no evasives really, it's limited. Well, when that opens up, is that gonna be a major problem?
You get more invasives, but it's the climate change.
Right.
It's coming with the wind, the birds and everything, like, it's warm. In fact, with the ticks, I don't think we'll get a good enough breeze this winter to do anything to them. I mean, it's gonna be
But ticks,
ticks, yeah.
And mosquitoes.
Freeze or else they're gonna just multiply. Like, get rid of those little white-tailed mice.
well, what you might get is other trees. I'm gonna, I've already talked to Carrie Dempsey about this, but I want to do another update about the beech trees. I want to talk to Cody and Mashamik, or what they're thinking will happen with their forests. What usually happens, what's happening in the stretch between Sag Harbor and East Hampton, where all the pitch pines are going, you're getting white pines growing and replacing the pitch pines. And you probably also get other species of trees here, oaks and other species that will start taking their place. And that's what usually happens. It's just other trees start moving in.
August Expo. That's right.
No, I-
I don't look at you anymore because I don't know the gentleman Reeves.
Jonathan? No, I have not stepped out completely.
Okay, so that,
I'm hovering like an angel.
Is somebody else running it this year?
Huh?
Is somebody else running it this year?
Yes, we have a new Green Committee member, John Reeves, and he really wanted a project, and I wanted to sort of start. letting-
what's the date on it again?
On August 24th from 11 to 3.
We're taking assignments too.
Yeah, we should, okay, 11 to 3, okay? I think what we did last time, we broke it up into 2-hour, I think from 11 to 1, and then,
23.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not at your table, so.
so who wants to help out
I
with
can
this?
take 11.
I can come to,
You'll do the, so Chuck, and Kathy in the morning.
Now, all this stuff is at your house, Gordon?
Stuff, okay, yes, I have, basically the same things we had before. I still have some, the only thing we don't have, which I can blow up, is we should really, okay, yes, I have most of the stuff.
I should pick the stuff up the day before or something?
No, I'll deliver it with the truck, okay, day before.
Do we have an updated, I think we've had a big map.
Yes,
Do you have an updated map that shows?
I'm gonna have to update that, that's all right.
Well, as soon as he gets a computer back, I guess.
And so Chuck and Kathy, anybody else in the afternoon?
I'll take the
Okay.
afternoon, 1 to 3.
All right. And,
Is it at this, where is it?
It's gonna be at the school, it's gonna be in the section between the parking lot and the entrance to the school on School Street, so it's opposite the Legion Hall.
Oh,
So when you
okay.
go to the school, you go to the main entrance. So it's between that main entrance and then going towards the school parking lot.
It's right on the school street.
It's on the school, it's on the school.
by the, across the street? It's not on the, it's not on the community, the American Legion
No,
Hall.
no, it's across the street.
It's right in front of the school.
It's right in front of the school.
Everybody's gonna get there in that spot?
Yep.
Not 114
No,
on
no,
School
no.
Street.
No, we're actually on the
School Street.
on the school property. There's a big lawn area right next to this school building. And what's nice is the sidewalk goes right down, so everybody can just walk on the sidewalk and visit all the vendors.
So is that to the east of the school, to the east of the school?
East of the school,
No, what part, where?
It's on School Street. On School
it's
Street.
on School Street,
Right in front.
right in front of the school.
Where they have the sign for the school, right?
Yes.
That's 114.
Oh,
No, it's not 114.
oh, okay, I misunderstood. Well, I'll find you.
This is the
I
school.
know, and I'll find you.
This is a School Street. The Legion Hall is down here.
Okay,
The school parking lot is over here.
yeah,
The entrance of the school is here.
right?
The craft fair starts here and wraps around like it always has. And then we're gonna be here.
Oh, okay, like you said, on School Street.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where the buses park.
yeah, where the buses park.
Yes.
And is the art show also the same day?
The craft fair?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we do it together.
Three's a crowd.
Oh, yeah, no, we're together. And the good thing is the food trucks will be near where we are. So,
Nice.
All right, does anybody have any new business they want to bring up?
No. The reports with respect to the properties, where are the old reports? Where do we find them? If we're going to compare.
No, it's not about comparing the reports as much as looking at the stewardship plans that exist.
Well, that's what I mean, the stewardship.
Stewardship plans, they
Okay.
are,
Oh, okay,
I
I
think-
don't, okay, I think we have them in the binder.
Fine.
yes.
It's in your book.
Ed Schoenberg did it.
Okay. With that said, anybody have any new issues that they want to bring up or discuss or bring up at this time? Otherwise, I'm going to make a motion to go into an executive session to discuss property that we're currently reviewing for acquisition.
That's good.
Can I get a motion?
Make a motion, we.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Howard.